You know, it's often difficult when you get mixed up with celebrities, particularly when you are friends with them, because if they have negative press, then you either have to decide to stick with them or move on. And we've seen this a lot in Hollywood of recent times. People like Kevin Spacey, yes, Ellen DeGeneres cancelled for her chat show for allegedly being a bully. James Corden left his chat show because he wanted to come back to England, but seemingly, well, he's doing a play over here, but it's hardly breaking any pots at the old Vic. You know, you've got to realign yourself, make sure you can get back on track, that sort of stuff. Now, when of course you're friends with Harry and Meghan, it just depends how long you're going to be friends with them for. We've seen so many people seemingly fall through the cracks, you know. If you look at the footage when they were at the Disney premiere and he was begging for work from Bob Iger, you can actually see Beyonce cringing with embarrassment. But of course, you know, she is a kind sort of soul, actually, Beyonce, who wouldn't want to walk away from somebody who clearly has no idea or no better. What was interesting is, if you look at Beyonce, she's had an international career now for a few decades. And when you think also, there is this woman lording it who's only been in a cable TV show and literally sort of taking the heat and making sure that she's the superstar. It is a bit of a cringeworthy bit of footage when you look at it now, because you can see they're like kind of bemused by it all in many respects. What's interesting now though is as Harry and Meghan move forward with their very shaky Netflix deals, things are actually not as easy going for them as many people first thought. Let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. You all right? You all right? Yes, I'm not bad, thank you. Yeah. Well, it's good to have your company, whatever you're doing today. And as ever, thank you for your support on the videos. I know the education one got a lot of traction, and of course, the ridiculous Lord Mayor that we have here in London, Sadiq Khan. What a fool not celebrating D-Day. What a fool not even acknowledging the fact that it was the official birthday of His Majesty the King. How about even just putting a tweet out basically saying, "Welcome back, Princess Catherine"? I mean, how hard would that have been? No, too busy pushing the Eid celebrations, which turned into riots, by the way, over here in the centre of London. Absolute shambles, and this is what is importing. Third world mentality, let me tell you. Now, it's interesting here because some might say that the Sussexes are importing some kind of third world mentality in their marketing and business campaign. Their chum, the polo player Nacho, of course, is very instrumental in making sure that her brand gets out there, posting things online, of course, of her jam and now her dog biscuits and all that sort of paraphernalia and nonsense. But what's interesting is, as I said at the start of the video, it's very difficult because once you align yourselves to people like this, is it wise? And that's the bigger problem. Now, moving forward, it appears now that Nacho has indeed disregarded some of those pictures because they brutally backfired, as one can imagine, seeming as incredibly crass, negative and very disrespectful, not just to His Majesty the King, but literally just trying to pull focus on a day that shouldn't really be about anybody else, but of course a splendid celebration over here across the world in the Commonwealth. What's interesting now though is, and according to a very well-placed source, and as ever we have to say allegedly, even the boss Ted of Netflix felt that this was a moment too far, and apparently has had stern words with all concerned that this won't play out well if you want to sell those programs to the world. And by those programs, we're talking, of course, behind the scenes of the elitist sport polo, which is going to be fronted and presented by Prince Harry, and of course the much hyped and yet to be seen anything cooking show from Meghan Markle. You see how this works. Now, again, they're feeding into the problem of should Netflix, whenever, won't be long I'm sure, decide to terminate contracts due to lack of ratings, well, they're just giving them sort of energy and, of course, ammunition. Now, Nacho, of course, probably just thought he was doing the right thing, a good thing, assisting a chum. But it was crass and actually very spiteful. Either way, of course, Meghan's hastily retreated, never commented on the posting so far, just telling close friends that they actually posted at the wrong time. As I said to you before, if you believe that, you'll believe anything. And apparently Prince Harry does. But either way, if they want to keep this deal going with Netflix, they've got to be very careful in their public domain. And that's something, of course, that Harry and Meghan have never had to curtail to before. But this time around, they need the money. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.